Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 4, and today we're going to be doing my review for episode 16, titled Run Iris Run. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you're new, so you don't miss any videos later this year. So for me, this episode had some really good points. I really liked some points, but then some points were a bit weak, but overall it was a mixed bag for me, so I did enjoy it. So we're going to be breaking it down and talking about some stuff that I want to talk about, some stuff that I liked, some stuff that maybe I didn't like as much. So probably the biggest point in the episode was the ending scene, because we now know who the last two bus metas are, and Harry name dropped them, and that was via Harry's thinking cap that he made. It's a replica of what Clifford DeVoe actually used on his chair, and it's just been adapted so he doesn't have to have the dark matter injected into his brain literally. So he name dropped Janet Petty and Edwin Goss. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right, but Edwin is a villain in the comics and Janet isn't, so I'm wondering if Noel next week, who is going to be appearing, is maybe Janet. I don't know, but she's not in the comics, so we'll have to wait and see. So that was probably like the biggest part of the episode. And then also something that I found kind of interesting was how Joe said that Cecile had decided the name, and we weren't actually able to see what they were actually going to name the baby when the baby comes out, because if it's a name from the comics like Daniel West, obviously that's a big hint as to what maybe could come in the future. So I think that the mystery of that is kind of interesting, and it intrigued me. I'm not sure if it intrigued you guys, but Max Adler appeared in this episode. He was a lot of fun, and although he had really minimal amounts of time on screen, he was crazy when he went full on Pyro. Originally he didn't have powers, he was just at the bank, and then he got given powers, and now he can control fire, and the fire he produces is of extreme energy, and that was part of the reason as to what Iris had to do in her Speedster arc this episode. So moving on to Iris. So Iris goes out into the field, and it's just due to Ralph being a bit of a prick, if I'm totally honest. It just seemed like he was just being mean to Iris, and obviously that's on the writer's point, but I didn't like Ralph in this episode, and you guys know I haven't been liking Ralph, but it was just a way for Iris to get out into the field to actually transfer Barry's powers to her. So Iris did the Barry running thing while she was actually on the treadmill, so she was running so fast and then she tripped back, but instead of actually being knocked out, she just slipped over because she couldn't slow down. So obviously we got the exploration in this episode of Iris becoming a speedster and her being able to try and control it. I felt like Team Flash kind of rushed over it, how they just let Iris into the field straight away, and obviously they retconned that after because they realized, why the hell are we letting her go out straight away if she's not been trained at all? So Barry trains her for a bit after that, and then we get probably one of the coolest bits of the episode, and that was when Iris got into her Speedster Suit, and then Barry said, "Run, Iris, run." And I really freaked out over that scene, because I love when they say "Run, Barry, run," or the different iterations of that. It's just so iconic. And by the way, one thing that annoyed me was how they said tidal wave. Tidal waves don't exist, it's tsunami. But it was really cool how Iris actually created a tsunami, and the tsunami was so thin because she was running in a tight formation and she was going side to side, and so she was able to create a tsunami that was unlike anything Barry's done. Although this is a massive callback to season 1, he made a massive tsunami rather than a small tsunami. So the way that Iris actually did it actually needs more skill, so it was pretty cool to see that. And we got the replica of the episode 1 thing with Weather Wizard when he creates the storm, but this time it was like a heat storm, a firestorm. I'm not sure what they actually called it, but that was a really awesome scene and I really enjoyed that. And so in this episode we got some answers as to Iris's life, apart from being the team leader of sorts of Team Flash, and it's revealed that she isn't a reporter anymore. She quit her job after the Savitar ordeal, and she was just too afraid to be out. And obviously in season 1 and 2 she was a reporter, even though she wasn't reporting that much. We still got quite a bit of it, and now she's going back to writing her Flash blog, and that got me really excited because that gives massive callbacks to season 1, and I felt like in this episode they did a good job calling back to season 1, and I felt like the tone of the episode was overall more like season 1 than what they've tried this season with the Flash, because I feel like a lot of the episodes they've gone overboard with the humor that they didn't do in season 1, so I felt like this episode was probably one of the closest to a season 1 episode. So it was really cool seeing Iris having purple lightning. Obviously no one questioned that. That was kind of weird how no one questioned it, but I think it was just to aesthetically please Iris running around with her purple suit that Cisco whipped up for her really quickly, so it's a really temporary suit. And so apparently, according to the executive producer of The Flash, this suit has some relevance, and we will come back to that due to the fact that her color scheme is actually purple and white. And obviously in the comics, Dawn Allen has a purple suit, and also Jenny Ognatz has a similar suit, so something to do with Mystery Girl is connected to Iris's suit. So I do feel like the Mystery Girl will be either Jenny or Dawn Allen, most likely Dawn Allen in my opinion. So we get a new temporary Team Flash member, and he was alright in the episode. I thought he was just a really average character, and I don't think the actor was even that good. And so he's going to be temporarily around until DeVoe actually stops him. So he's like the one meta apart from Ralph that they've been able to save from DeVoe. And DeVoe wasn't in the episode. I was kind of surprised that DeVoe didn't actually try and get him, and I think there was just a way to switch some stuff up in this episode. Another part that I really enjoyed was near the ending, and it was the Iris and Barry inspirational talk, and the talk was really nice, and I love the way they incorporated the music. I felt like I actually connected to Iris a lot more than I have recently. So that is basically it for this video. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and I will see you guys later for my Flash trailer breakdown. And if you guys didn't know, the Flash doesn't return until April 10th, which is a shame, but we're gonna have to wait a while, and Supergirl will be back sometime around then. So I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.